cold world. Yeah. It's a cold, cold world. Cold one, it's a cold, cold world. I've been looking to the stars like I'm an astronaut. And this pain hurts so much, so I smoke that gas a lot. I've been hiding from myself, cause I ain't tryna get caught. And you know I right my wrongs, that's some shit that I can't stop now. I've been searching for my soul, cause it's been missing. And man, cooking breakfast, bullets flying through the kitchen. And you wait for it to start your way like you fishing. Cause if you get up, hit up, little nigga, you gon' be wishing that you never do what you did. You shoot shit.
Hey, we are back with a special edition here at Be More Podcast Studios. You already know I'm your host, Awesome, and I'm so excited to be here for this special edition of Be More Podcast. We are here with the one and only Chioma Udemy. She is a phenomenal writer who has a book out right now that everybody needs to read. I don't care if you are Black, white, Puerto Rican, it doesn't matter. But what she's speaking about in this book relates to a lot of people in a lot of ways, and I can't wait to talk to her more about it. The name of the book is Corporate Corruption and the Outspoken Rules: the true life story of Chioma Udemy. When I say that this book is a must read for everybody, oh my God, this episode is going to tell you exactly why. So, hello. We are going to bring her on. What's going on, Chinya? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Feeling good? Feeling great?
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by the Be More Podcast Studios. I'm
Thank
so happy
you.
to have you here.
The same here.
For sure, for sure. So this book, we were just talking off air about it, and it's so relatable on so many levels. And like I said, I can't wait to dive into it. But before we dive into the book, let's dive into who you are. Okay? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm a first generational Nigerian American, born in Nigeria, raised in Baltimore, Maryland. I am the CEO, author, and founder of All Mathis Writers LLC. We have been in the business for 5 years. Um, I was 2024 globally recognized author that uses literature writing to address social issues, call for transparency and reform. And I have written about 16 books.
Wow.
And my background is solidly in criminal justice and law enforcement.
Nice. Oh my God, that's a lot of accolades you have
It's
there.
just summary of it.
That's a summary, right? Oh my God, I can't wait to hear more. So I know you said you've written 16 books. So what inspired you to write this particular book? Because the topic that you're speaking on is something that has been happening in our society and plenty other societies for generations. So for you to finally write a book about it, I just want to know what inspired you to write this book on this topic.
Well, I said it's not really a good time or a bad time to write it. It's supposed to has been written way before now, but since no one have come out to do it or I have seen it, I said it doesn't hurt no one. How it started was my friend Choma Udemy was the one that experienced it, and I believe in people telling their stories the correct way before others tell it to them the wrong way, and they might not be there. So, what also inspired me to take on the project as a ghostwriter is to tell a story that everyone know what is going on in corporate workforce when it comes to retaliation, abuse of power, racism, discrimination, name it, you have it there. We all know it, but it seems like we are becoming numb or accustomed to this treatment, which it just is mind blowing. So I say it's time to put it on a paper to call it what it is. So that's another thing that inspired me to ghost wrote the book for Chama Udemy.
Nice. Oh man, you just actually said so much, man, because a lot of this does. Before I go into this, because I have my own questions myself, could you give us just a brief overview of the book, Corporate Corruption and the Unspoken Rules? Because I think that'll give viewers a little more insight into what we're going to discuss today. I don't want to spoil it, so give us a little bit of just insight into what the book, the overview of the book.
Sure. So the book Corporate Corruption and its Unspoken Rules is actually a true life story of Chioma Udemy. It's not just a true life story of her, it's a true life story of billions and millions of people out here that believe that their voices doesn't matter. But the book just simplify a systemic racism and its effect in corporate American workforce. So it's bringing the systemic racism that we already know. Now it is dissecting it, the effect it has in corporate American workforce. And from there, it goes down to tell the story of Chama Udemy and how the same systemic racism, which is the direct founder of corporate corruption and its unspoken rules, has affected everything. And at the end of it, it's questioning with minorities in corporate American workforce, how can minority coexist inside this system, and how can African born Americans and American born Americans get along and work peacefully in corporate American workforce? So that's just a summary of the story.
Yeah, it's something that it's a topic that's always discussed. It was even in Black Panther, right? Like how the African born and then the African American born, how we can kind of work together and that thing. But before I get into that, how did this discrimination and things like that, how did that make Choma feel?
It was more like a culture shock. One thing is hearing about it, the next thing is physically experiencing it in real time. Initially, she did not know what it is because I always say when you are not born and raised into something, even if it's staring at your face, you would not know it until it slaps you in the face. Then you will like, oh, okay, what just happened? So the situation actually slapped her in the face. That was how she was able to even understand what it was going on. Initially, when she started the employment, it was predominantly Caucasian work environment. We were all happy because that's like a big girl's job, with a big girl paying check, So it was a big party, but shortly upon her arrival there, they have already criminally profiled her to be a criminal because she was born in Nigeria without her even knowing that the people she's going to work with has already criminally profiled her with a biased mindset. Upon her arrival in the workforce the same day, leadership started making meetings and how she should go because her kind and type shouldn't have been hired, and hiring her was a mistake.
Wow.
They wanted her first day at the job to be her last day at the job.
Oh, wow.
And she did not know. Again, when it's something that you're not born with or raised with staring at your face, you don't know. So while they were in the meeting, an African American man, which is she called the name, but I forgot. But the African American man, the only African American man in a leadership position, told them that they have not given this young lady an opportunity to prove herself. Why are they letting her go the very first day she's starting work? The Caucasian one said that she has to go, but Chama overheard it because they called her in. And when she stood at the door, that's how she was hearing this conversation and this debate. So, out of all the leadership, it was just that African American man that stood and said no. And in return, they told the guy that he has to be the one in charge of Chama. If Chama ever messes up, that his own job will be on the line. So this man literally put his entire livelihood in Korea so that Chama could get an employment opportunity. Chama was tearing up, and that shifted the dynamic of how Chama began to see corporate America because it was staring at her face. So after the African American man advocated for Chama to start, the other obstacles and discriminations continuously. When she wear like open toe to come to work, the Caucasians were surprised that all her toenails were all accounted for.
That's good. Right.
She comes home because she was my roommate. She was telling me this very depressing. I'm like, in 2026, these people do not understand that you got 10 toenails.
Yeah, right.
So it was just a tip of a nice cue of what she went through. And she told me they were surprised that her upkeep, her hygienic was up to date.
What do you expect? What do you expect? So I want to go back to something you mentioned. You say you had the African American gentleman advocating for you. That's key. That's important that we fight for each other in the workplace, and that even goes back around to the topic of African Americans and Africans working together and fighting for each other in the workplace, and even not even needing that workplace and creating our own. I'm a big proponent, as we were talking about before, of African Americans and Africans kind of co-working together. I was in Nigeria in 2022, working with someone trying to create that whole diaspora. So it's good to see, and it just warmed my heart to hear that gentleman actually advocated for you and put his own livelihood on the line for the sake of unity, kind of, sort of, right?
Yeah.
So that was really good. Let me ask, could you what advice would you have or give to someone that has gone through what Chioma went through?
Say something. Do something. I always believe that it is only a tree that someone is cutting and the tree stands one place. A human has no business standing one place when someone is cutting you, whether if it's emotionally, physically, financially.
I like that.
Do something. Say something.
Right.
If you gotta kick, if you gotta push, if you gotta just do something as a human. So I'm saying they should say something, do something. If they have said something, they should write a book about it. Go to their congressional district, report it, because I do understand that corporate will do corporate, but I also have a firm belief that the district, Congress district, or anything, somebody outside the body of this corporate need to step in, and everything all started with using your voice and saying something and doing something.
Nice. Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to take this time to actually ask you, can you read something, a passage or a chapter from the book for us, please?
Okay.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. Y'all are getting a live version from the author. She's getting a live read. I think is this your first time doing this on Be More Podcast? Hey, we the exclusive. I told you that. So yes. Please,
my God.
Shakia.
Okay, sure. Let me see. So this is chapter 1. Let's say systemic racism is the direct founder that gave birth to corporate corruption and its unspoken rules. This system historical foundation stemmed from the history of racial injustice, slavery, Jim Crow laws that create a social system with racist economic inequality built into its foundation. This systemic racism have perpetuated inequality from generation to generation, and the same system has continued to impact the outcome of our present day, leading to disparities in health, wealth, opportunity among people of color in America, which have strained like wildfire into our corporate system even before we were old enough to start working. Furthermore, this same system has been deeply embedded and interconnected with our laws, cultural norms, with society, policy, practice that has created a perpetual racial inequality, therefore giving advantage historical to most white people while disadvantaging people of color. The product of this disparity outcome are witnessed in our day-to-day life, depending on which side of the coin you fall under. This disparity comes in different shapes, sizes, and colors, but affect people of color in almost the same way, ranging from housing discrimination, our criminal justice system, healthcare, education, and employment. What else haven't we seen, and what else haven't been done to us, or has been done to us in some part in our life? The same systemic racism was what affected Chioma Udemy, a Nigerian American, on her road to working in corporate America. The same system has also affected almost all the migrants who came to America for better opportunities and a better life, whether they know it or not, said Chioma Udemy. The systemic system has only created a one success lane for migrants from the continent of Africa with a limitation on how far one could go within the already carved box that the system believe all of them belong in, said Charmer Udemy. Systemic racism created the medical field as a roadmap for most migrants from Africa to achieve liberty, life, and happiness. The same school of thought has passed down from generation to generation with a proven track record of success. But at what cost? Chama Udemy asked. Any migrant from the continent of Africa whom step outside of the systemic box that the system has set for them find it nearly impossible to thrive and thrive because of unnecessary obstacles created by individuals' limited perception of the career path a migrant person of color should fall under. Chama Udemy was one of the migrant Nigerian Americans whom stepped outside of the systemic box the system set for her after high school graduation in America. She is one of the few whom have refused to allow their calling in life, their abilities and capabilities to be determined by an already programmed systemic racial error. It is only recently that the system started allowing migrants of color from the continent of Africa to step into the cybersecurity field because their brains are needed, Chama Udemy noted with frustration. Often, some people from outside the Black community looking into the community mistake African Americans, especially their male counterparts, as lazy, uneducated, and lack focus and direction in life. But the reverse is the case if one carefully and without bias investigate the root cause of such prejudged mindset. You will never know where someone has been and how their shoe hurts them until you walk in the direction they were coming from and wearing the same shoe that hurt them. Only then can one get a better understanding of the situation. Chama Udemy self reflected.
That was hold on, I don't even know what to do. That do I do the snap? Do I do a clap? That was interesting. That's just chapter one.
Yeah.
That's just the beginning,
Just the beginning.
of the book.
Exactly.
And it touched on so many things. My main question with that being, or just thought on it, is African Americans have been experiencing this for forever, for centuries, right? Like it feels like, with slavery and everything like that, is once African Americans stopped working for free, it was, oh, now y'all lazy because y'all don't want to work for free anymore. So this is something that we've been experiencing for forever. And now to hear that, African-born individuals are coming over and experiencing it as well, it takes me back to a saying that one of my friends has. He's from Cameroon. And he said before he moved over here, his parents said, it doesn't really matter if you're African-born or African-American. They're going to look at you a certain way because of your skin color. You walk into a Walmart, the CTV camera only sees a Black person. They don't know if you're from Africa. They don't know if you're American. They don't know what they're looking at. They just see a Black person. And then those feelings and thoughts are placed on you just because of your skin tone. And African Americans aren't lazy or dumb or not trying to work or anything like that either. So it's so deep on so many levels where this corporate corruption comes from, because it's way deeper than even before what you've seen or what Chioma's seen, right? This has been happening forever. So I'm so glad that somebody has finally taken it upon themselves to write on this topic, and it's something that sounds contemporary. It's something that we can talk about as being you young people, right? It's not like, oh, back in the day this was happening. This
No, it's
shit is
happening
happening right
now.
now, right? So I love it. I love it.
Thank
Um,
you.
what do you hope readers will take from your book?
I would say that for them to understand that racism, discrimination, abuse of power, toxic work environment can happen to anyone at any time. And they should speak up when it does happen. And also, they should also be mindful, because racism and discrimination now comes in different shapes, sizes, and colors that you have to have your eyes open in order to be able to pick up the non-spoken and non-reactiveness of the discrimination and racism aspect of things.
Very deep, very deep. Nice. Okay, this is about to be a New York Times bestseller. I'm telling y'all. So I want to tap into two more things. You mentioned that you have a publishing company named All Authors Writers LLC.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit more about that? Get some promotion out here, because after you read this book and the other 16 books that she has, you're going to want to kind of get on board with All Authors Writers. So tell me about this company.
Sure. So the main reason why I created All Authors was doing my own journey in just life. My writing career actually started when doing my correction career days. I saw what I wasn't supposed to see, and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to see what I saw. And when they came after me, I was wondering again, when racism, discrimination stares at someone that wasn't raised and born inside it, they don't know until it slapped them in the face.
Yeah.
So my slapped me in the face when a medical doctor said that I couldn't read, I couldn't write, I couldn't speak English because of my immigrant background, and advised my former department to terminate my employment as a result of that. So I wasn't a doctor. I was in my early 20s. In order to defend myself and say I could do all that, I wrote my first book, Corruption in the Division of Correction. That was the beginning journey of me putting a pen on a paper. And as time goes on, that was 2019 was when I debuted my first book, just to prove that I could read, write, and speak English. So from there, and doing my own journey of injustice, discrimination, and abuse of power, everyone turned a blind eyes. And I said, once I get to the finish line and go back to the tunnel, because they always say there's always light after the tunnel. So mine took me years, but I got there, and as soon as I got there, I created All Authors to make it a home for marginalized voices to be able to come anywhere in the planet to tell their story the correct way, to use a pen and a paper to confront their abusers and call them for whom and what they are, using writing. You know, we're not using physical anymore. We are using a pen and a paper.
I like that. I love that. You seem like the type that likes to be challenged. If somebody challenges you, you're going to come back with full force and get it how you live.
Exactly.
Like
it's always
that.
a pen and a paper. In my program or in my company, I advise aspiring authors that those days, because they are sitting waiting for us to repeat the same story, the same action of being physical or for being anything, I told them, your pen, your paper, your brain is the only thing that you need to fight back. And 10 out of 10, they don't know how to respond to it because they will not expect you to use that to fight.
Nice. Nice. I like that. I like that. Okay, cool. So I need to ask now, where can people find your books and your services? How can we get in contact with Chinyere?
So far I am on all social media platform globally.
Nice, nice, nice.
For my books are available in Baltimore City and
Okay.
Baltimore County libraries.
Oh, nice, nice.
Uh,
That's major. That's major.
exactly.
Okay.
And for universities, my books are available in Carpenter State,
Oh, nice.
Morgan State,
Oh, okay. Shout out
University of Maryland.
HBCUs. Okay, nice, nice.
Um, for global retailers, my books are available globally and also on my e-commerce website.
Mm.
They can order anywhere in the whole planet.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And they can find
and
it.
where can they find me? Of course, on social media. In person, you might find the law enforcement when you come in real life, but
Okay.
social media, you will find author Chinyere Uday.
Okay.
All my social media platforms are author Chinyere Uday,
Okay.
and all of my business aspect of me are all Martha's writers.
Nice. Enjoyed this conversation. I feel like just from what we spoke about, people will want to come out and purchase this book, and I think they'll get so much from it. But do you have any last words that you have for people to inspire them or inspire them to go and get the book?
Yes, absolutely. What I would say is those days that we were advised to turn a blind eyes, not to rock the boat or just play along, is gone. These days we cannot afford to turn a blind eyes, because if we all turned a blind eyes, you would not know when you are being attacked or who did it.
True.
So those days have gone. If you see something, say something to save someone. That's and buy the book, read the book, leave a feedback, contact me in all Martha's or Author U Day's website, and I will respond.
There we go. I love it. I love it. This has been a really great just special edition of Be More Podcast. And I don't feel like we could have done it with anybody better. So I want to make sure that everybody goes out and buys Corporate Corruption, okay?
And
the Unspoken Rules. All right. We got to make sure we get everybody out to purchase this book right now. I want to say thank you to our guest today, Chinyere Uday.
Thank you for
very
having
much.
me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming in. Make sure you go purchase this book, okay? Corporate Corruption and the Unspoken Rules, the true life story of Chioma Udemy. Please check it out. All right. Now that wraps up our special edition of Be More Podcast. Once again, I'm your host. Thank you to our producer, Sandy. Thank you for Dennis for always providing a dope spot. And if you need a spot to highlight something that you have going on in your art form, please make sure you check out Be More Podcast Studios. We're always open, always available, and love sharing dope stories. So thank you again, Chinyere. And until next time, we'll see you at the top.